Welcome back, everybody. It's Lucas from the Player Profiler News Desk, and I'm here to highlight NFL Draft prospect quarterback Jaxson from Ole Miss. So Jaxson to me is the most polarizing quarterback prospect, at least in this year's draft. So, considered to be a fairly weak quarterback class. I think everyone's got some Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, one of those two guys going one or two. In terms of quarterbacks being drafted, and honestly, like even in terms of overall NFL, draft picks, I think both those guys are kind of consistently in the top three there in most mocks. I think Jaxson actually does have a lot of kind of room to grow and develop as the draft process unfolds between now and the NFL draft, and I think he can really kind of make a push to put himself in the conversation as a top three pick, right? Dart, if you kind of look at his prospect profile from, ever since he got kind of booted from USC for, Caleb Williams to come in there and kind of stole his job, he ended up in Ole Miss and, started out pretty decent, like nothing really complain about, but he was able to demonstrate, he's able to grow and develop as a passer every single year, basically in every passing metric, right? So he went from just under 3,000 yards his first year as a starter to posting over 4,000 yards in his final season, right? He also has yards per attempt every single year, went up and up and up. He ended up with a 10.8, staggering 10.8 yards per attempt, right? That's 97th percentile. He was one of the best quarterbacks in college last year in yards per attempt. His completion percentage, his touchdowns went up. His interceptions dropped almost every year. Aside from that, I mean, Jaxson honestly, he's going to surprise a lot of people with how athletic he can be. His size-wise, I mean, he's as big, if not bigger, than basically any of the high prospect quarterbacks that are coming in there, right? Like, he's a little bit thicker than Shedeur Sanders. He's about as big, if not a little bigger, than Cam Ward. And he might actually run faster than those guys. I know that would be this is definitely not in the conversation right now, but there's a very good chance he can goes in the combine and kind of shocks people with how fast he can actually run. So I think maybe JJ McCarthy last year, right? So he's definitely used some of that size and physicality in the running game too. So he had a 600-yard rushing season. He's had, I think, 8 touchdowns was his on the ground was his high water mark in college. So he's not afraid to pick up the ball and just kind of punch it in, especially in the red zone or around the goal line too. So definitely consider him a weapon there. Also, I think what's being absolutely underreported is just how well he did at Ole Miss and just in the SEC in general. So, he broke several school records. So he surpassed Eli Manning in total passing yards. He surpassed him in passing efficiency. He surpassed him in wins. He surpassed him in winning percentage. He's the second all-time leader in total touchdowns and completions at Ole Miss. And in fact, he's actually even ended his career as the 9th highest SEC pass yard total for a quarterback. So that kind of blew me away actually when I read that statistic. I definitely feel like not enough people are talking about that. So he's got a lot of detractors, to be fair. He does have some stuff on his game to work on, and a lot of people are saying that it's kind of the system at Ole Miss is what made him successful. But who knows? Like, he could end up like I definitely would not be shocked if the Raiders or the Jets, who desperately need a quarterback, or maybe even the Saints at 9, like Jaxson being a top 10 pick would not surprise me in the least. So kind of be looking for him as the next hot air balloon quarterback. We see it every year. We saw it last year with multiple quarterbacks. This year, my money's on Jaxson